Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for the main event of the evening. Prepare to welcome the boxers as they make their way to the ring. First, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the challenger, accompanied by Block Entertainment recording artists Young Jock and Hype Mike. Please welcome St. Louis native son, Cory Spinks.
That's right. It's going down, my homie Cory Spinks. Talk about y'all. It's going down, Young Jock. Block ENT.
Four minutes that took, despite what happened last time tonight in front of a smaller but respectable hometown crowd. Cory Spinks almost defiantly dancing in again. And now I believe he wants to show folks that his wild ring entrance last February had nothing to do with his performance. He insists it was strictly the weight loss and the personal issue.
Well, it's great theater. We could see that. He's committed to the concept of this. Today he actually showed up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon to rehearse those dance moves, and we saw evidence of that with the Showtime crew, in fact, as they shot it. So he wanted this choreographed and looking good. And Kevin Hunkamp, his manager and trainer, was on radio shows in which he vehemently denied that had any impact on him losing.
I know it's showmanship, but if you do that, you had better back it up with a win. Let's go back to Jimmy.
And now making his way to the ring, ladies and gentlemen, the defending world champion, originally from St. Petersburg, Russia. Please welcome Roman Karmazin.
By the way, that was less than a minute. Karmazin's ring walk, entering the proverbial lion's den. Slight favorite Roman Karmazin, a former bare knuckles fighter from poor beginnings, who served in both the Soviet and Russian armies, nicknamed Made in Hell. So, Al, that said, you get the feeling he can handle the hoopla.
You know, I don't put too much stock in fighters' demeanor before a fight, but watching him walk out, the best way to describe the look on his face was bemused and stoic. That's a good look for a guy walking into this kind of a ring.
I think you summed it up with bemused. Not a familiar name to the casual fan, but highly regarded in boxing circles, a man on a mission for recognition. Let's check the numbers as we go to the tail of the tape here in St. Louis. Spinks has the youth by 5 years at 5'11", the naturally bigger Karmazin with a 2-inch height advantage and the slight edge in reach to the champion. And at yesterday's weigh-in, both came in at 153. Spinks coming up to that weight. And the notable unified rules for this world title fight: there's no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. If an accidental headbutt causes a fight to end within 4 rounds, it's a no decision. After 4 rounds, they go to the scorecards. If a punch causes a cut and the injured fighter can't continue, he loses by TKO. So here at the Savas Center in St. Louis, we're getting ready for our featured event, Roman Karmazin versus Cory Spinks for the IBF Junior Middleweight Championship. The official introductions from our ring announcer, the classy Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening to you and welcome to the Savas Center here in St. Louis, Missouri for the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by Don King Productions and the Savas Center in association with the undisputed King of Beers, Budweiser, and Showtime. Well, fans, this bout is sanctioned by the IBF, President Marion Muhammad, Supervisor Darrell Peoples, along with the Missouri Office of Athletics, Division Director David Broker, Executive Director Becky Dunn, Administrator Tim Lukanoff. Our physicians at ringside, Dr. Reynald Caldwell and Dr. C. Lon Fotopoulos, and our timekeeper at the bell, Marcia Champion. Introducing to you our 3 judges scoring this bout from ringside. From Liberty, Missouri, Jerry Griffin. From Hanover, Germany, Manfred Kuhler. And from Ardsley, New York, Melvina Lathan. Introducing to you our 3rd man to the ring, a referee in charge. Working in this is 34th world title bout, Mark Nelson. All right, fans, here we go with our main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF Junior Middleweight Championship of the World. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from St. Louis, it's showtime! Introducing to you first on my right, the challenger, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing red trunks, proudly representing his home and boxing heritage from St. Louis, Missouri. He weighed in at 153 pounds with a record of 34 wins, 3 losses. He has 11 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight he steps up in weight and challenges for the world title. Here is the former undisputed welterweight champion of the world, introducing Cory, the next generation Spinks. Across the ring, the defending world champion. On my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white trunks, fighting out of Los Angeles, California, by way of St. Petersburg, Russia. He weighed in at 153 pounds. His record stands at 34 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 1 no decision, with 21 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, he is making the first defense of his title. Please welcome the defending IBF Junior Middleweight Champion of the World, introducing Roman Made in Hell Karmazin. Once again, here's our referee in charge, Mark Nelson, now to give instructions, 12 rounds of boxing schedule.
Okay. Chief second only. Back up, guys. Roman, Cory, you've already received your instructions in the dressing room for the IBF Junior Middleweight title. You know what I expect. A clean championship fight. Just obey my commands and protect yourself at all times. Right here's good. Establish the belt line right here's okay. Touch gloves, good luck to both of you.
Set for what many here in St. Louis are calling a make-or-break fight for Spinks, looking to show that he hasn't lost his edge versus a guy whose last 2 wins were against southpaws. Karmazin, a rugged, workmanlike, unorthodox fighter, a busy sharpshooter looking ripped. Spinks will have the benefit of a bigger ring, as Al mentioned. His weight issues are behind him. His opponent not known for knockout power, and Spinks a totally different kind of lefty for Karmazin. He's slippery, elusive, awkward. Will his speed and movement offset the accuracy and ring smarts of the true junior middleweight Roman Karmazin? Got to believe Karmazin, who can take a shot, never dropped in the pros or amateurs, can afford to take some chances here. Al, get inside against a guy who's not a big hitter, and he's moving up in weight.
We will see. This ring is slightly larger than you'd normally expect. And Cory Spinks lands a jab right off the bat. If there's a chink in Karmazin's armor defensively, it is that he can be hit by a jab. And, of course, that's a big weapon for Cory Spinks.
Right. No punch.
Karmazin has had some difficulty against fighters with speed and movement, which are attributes of Cory Spinks.
Get out of there. Get out of here. Punch out. Right.
Karmazin's only loss was to a slick fighter, Javier Castillejo. Karmazin saw what happened recently with his pal Dmitry Krylov, who had a hotly disputed decision. Many felt he was robbed, so will he want to let it go to the scorecards, even though he says he intends to outbox Spinks, punish him intelligently, and not look for the KO? But the big question here, Al, will Karmazin be able to catch Spinks, or can he make Spinks come to him?
A more active Cory Spinks here in round 1 and a more attacking Cory Spinks than we might have anticipated. So Karmazin so far, even though he's only got nailed with a big hook, did Karmazin.
Step back.
He's getting hit a lot more in this first round, Karmazin, than he thought he would. But it still might be good news for him because Spinks is engaging him.
Spinks looking very sharp here in the opening round. Trying not to stay right in front of Karmazin. Spinks not normally a torrid starter.
The other thing that Cory Spinks is not used to is facing a man 2 inches taller than him. At welterweight, he was often taller than his opponent. They're certainly the same height. But so far, that reach and height not giving Spinks a problem.
Spinks with a nice left-right combination there. He beat Michel Piccirillo in the rematch in Italy. And Piccirillo, Cory Spinks points out, was taller than him. There's a nice jab once again upstairs by Spinks. Spinks' trainer, the intense former St. Louis policeman Kevin Cunningham, intimated to us Spinks will surprise some people with his power tonight. That's a pretty jab. Power, of course, has never been Spinks' forte.
Break it out. No, don't punch. Break clean.
As we head for the bell in round 1, a good one for the hometown favorite.
Relax, be smart, stay focused, and keep him right where we want him to go. And you can pot shot him. He's going to walk into what you're trying to do, what we want to do. All right? And always give him a feint or a stick. Don't just pose and be looking at him because he's using his front foot to measure you with. He ain't measuring you with his jab. He's using his front foot.
Close your eyes and listen.
So, okay, you got to keep him off. We got to make him start over. All right?
We see the foot getting tangled up by Karmazin and getting hit with the right hook. A right-hander should have his left foot outside the right foot of a southpaw. Clearly that is not the case for Roman Karmazin. That was part of his problems in round 1.
Another problem of Karmazin, he keeps his hand low, as many Eastern European fighters do. His left hand, he carries it awfully low, as you can see right there. You may have noticed a scar on Cory Spinks, reportedly last September. Jim Gray touched on it in the interview with Spinks earlier in a domestic dispute. Spinks' wife stabbed him in the shoulder and abdomen, for which he was briefly hospitalized. Spinks says he's 100% healed. He also says the marriage is over. But he wants to restore his marriage to the city he loves. And he just got nailed. A right hand.
And a second one from Roman Karmazin. Welcome to 154 pounds, says Karmazin to Cory Spinks.
Break! No, break!
Well, we'll see how Cory Spinks can handle a punch at this new weight now.
Spinks is engaging Karmazin much more than anyone would have anticipated. From Karmazin, that has to be good news. Even though round one was a very good one for Spinks, we see in round two some evidence that Karmazin can take advantage of that.
But in the long run, that could be a big mistake for Spinks. Karmazin doesn't have thunderous power, but decent pop. Very accurate puncher, and he times his punches very well. Very patient, very disciplined.
So far in this bout, Roman Karmazin has not thrown one single body punch. And I assure you we will see that from him, and it's a weapon he really should use early in this bout.
Karmazin in tremendous condition, highly dedicated in his preparation. He's had to stay sharp and focused despite several cancellations, fights falling through.
Break! No punch.
One of Karmazin's best weapons, the right hand, very effective straight down the middle against a southpaw, and we already saw evidence of that earlier in this round.
And now Karmazin is starting to use his own jab a little better. It's a tricky punch to use against the left-hander.
Watch your heads. Watch your heads here,
get
guys.
it in, it works.
So a turnaround round for Roman Karmazin.
Break! Step back.
After Spinks controlled the action in the first round.
Karmazin really should be working more on the inside, though, Steve. That's the only thing in this round that you have to say he should be doing more of.
A long left hand that's scored by Spinks, who's come alive now, and so has the crowd.
Keep him up, man. Keep him up.
Trying to steal the round, but perhaps too late. Our translator is Karmazin's advisor, Stephen Bash.
Don't just stay there. He's fast. Just don't stand right in front of him. Keep moving with your feet.
Karmazin in the last round was able to use his jab effectively, and that set up the straight right hand that pushed Cory Spinks back. That was one of several good right hands that Karmazin landed in the round. There was the second of the batch, and there were also some good left hooks. Cory Spinks came alive in the last 30 or 40 seconds of this round. Pushing aside some punches by Karmazin, he was able to attack, but for the most part, good round for Roman Karmazin.
Yeah, he stunned Spinks with that right hand 33 seconds into the second round, so this one appears to be even heading into the third. Karmazin believes Spinks' chin is very iffy, but he candidly says things will backfire on him if he goes in with the idea of trying to annihilate Spinks. But he is trying to utilize his size and get physical with Spinks. He's an old boxing axiom. A good big man will always beat a good little man. We shall see tonight.
A lot of redness underneath the left eye of Karmazin for those jabs that Cory Spinks is landing.
And that jab could be a key for Spinks. He did not use it as much in the second fight with Judah as he did in the first, doubling up effectively. He is getting back to the jab tonight, trying to make it a factor against Karmazin.
A minute into the third round, Karmazin just threw his first left hook to the body. He really needs to do more of that on the inside.
I got it.
It was effective against Kasim Uma, whom he dropped 2 times in the third round last July. Of course, Uma, a different kind of southpaw than Spinks, more of a pressure, stand right in front of you type lefty.
You know, this bout has already produced more landed punches, more I think, action than we would have thought in the first 2.5 rounds. And it's because Cory Spinks is not moving in this big ring. He's engaging Karmazin.
Yeah, Spinks very entertaining here.
Get out, break.
Making this into a fight. There's a straight left hand upstairs by Spinks.
He's had a very good third round, Cory Spinks. Much more accurate with his punches.
Cory Spinks getting very involved on the inside and then getting out quickly.
And he's giving Karmazin now just enough lateral movement to make it difficult for Roman to hit him with those straight right hands and those hooks.
Spinks creating some problems here for Roman Karmazin. Trying to make him miss and then make him pay, which was a good ploy against Ricardo Mayorga when Spinks won that fight.
Footwork, a major issue in this fight. Karmazin is keeping his left foot, you see, inside the right foot of Cory Spinks, putting himself in perfect position to be hit with those jabs, and when Spinks throws the straight left hand. Karmazin needs to move to his left and get outside that lead foot. He's not doing it.
Spinks getting the better of that exchange. Spinks looking very sharp, very slick. A lot of movement. Another good round for Spinks.
All right, just doing you. You don't have to get caught up in no other nothing. Box. Keep him in that circle. Keep him moving in that circle, okay? I need the jab working a little bit more. Put it up and put it in the body, okay? We go to feinting down there. We're going to shoot something up top, break the hook off, throw him around the corner. All right? Simple as that. We ain't nothing. We ain't getting into no difficult, ain't no difficult bag of tricks that we're going into.
Cory Spinks is engaging Roman Karmazin. He's in punching range, but Karmazin not able to work effectively on the inside. Instead, it's the hand speed of Cory Spinks that's making the difference. He's throwing multiple punches, Karmazin only one at a time.
Cory Spinks escaped to Don King's training outpost in the middle of nowhere, and I do mean that. I've been there in Orwell, Ohio, outside Cleveland, where so many of King's champions have trained over the years. And he was there for what, about 11, 12 weeks?
That's a long training camp, and we joked with him. He said he got on a first-name basis with a lot of deer and other wildlife there.
But it was a grueling training camp, and thus far it seems like it is paying off against a rugged champion here in Roman Karmazin.
The jab of Spinks has been, I think, the major story in this bout. And it's the one, as I said, the one chink in Karmazin's defensive armor. Spinks has been committed to it, and it's disrupted Roman's offensive attack. He walked into another one right there.
Karmazin continues to carry that left hand awfully low. Spinks lunging in with a right hand that sends Karmazin back. Left hand blocked by Karmazin's right fist.
Right on the inside, Roman Karmazin is unable or unwilling to pull the trigger on that left hook, and that's the missing element right now for him in this fight when he's on the inside. Needs to be throwing that punch to both the body and the head, and he has a good one.
Halfway through the fourth, scheduled for 12 for the IBF Junior Middleweight Championship. Spinks looking to climb back onto the throne. There's a flurry by Spinks. And he's immediately tied up by Karmazin to prevent any more punching. So far, it seems that 154 pounds is agreeing with Spinks, who hears it from the crowd.
For this fight, he said he started his camp at 165 to get down to 154, not so much. The last time he was at 171 and had to get down to 147, a big difference.
Yeah, he just started out too high at the start, and he never got back on track. And the fans here in St. Louis got down on him because he is known as a hard worker and a model citizen, and he wants to restore that image here in his beloved city.
And Cory Spinks doing the right thing, always moving to his right. That's exactly where you want to go if you're a lefty. No mental mistakes so far from Cory Spinks at all in this fight.
Karmazin with a bit of a smirk on his face. There it is. Spinks with the jab.
Put something on his eye. As long as you stop him, you're okay. He's very fast. Get your right hand to his body. Get your right hand and your left hand to his body. Don't go exactly back. You got to bring him to you. Bring him to you.
Cory Spinks of course, is a very good defensive fighter. He slips the punch, but then counters with his own right jab and aggressively goes after Karmazin, something we didn't think we would see a lot of. That was Cory Spinks at his absolute best.
A very good start for Spinks as we enter round 5. Spinks in the red, Karmazin in the white. Karmazin now living in Los Angeles the last 7 months. His third child was born in LA back in January. Again, it's Cory Spinks engaging very quickly with the jab, in and out.
All right, come on.
This is a completely different Cory Spinks than we saw last February.
You know, it's interesting. When we talked to Kevin Cunningham, nice hook by Karmazin, he finally got one in. When we talked to Cunningham and Spinks, they pointed out, well, that scoring agrees with me. I have it 39-37 as well. That's our press row scoring.
Mark Abrams from 15rounds.com, Mike Claiborne from 590 The Fan here in St. Louis, Cameron Holway from the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
When we talked to Cunningham and Cory Spinks, they couldn't find one thing that they thought Karmazin did really badly. He's a very sound fighter, but Cunningham made a very potent comment that's turned out to be true. He said, the movement of Cory Spinks will create deficiencies in him, and that's what we've seen tonight.
Yeah, they're forcing Karmazin into mistakes. And there's a nice left hand by Cory Spinks to the jaw.
Lateral movement and hand speed can make a fighter look very different, and it's looking Karmazin look very different than he has in other major fights he's been in.
Well, Karmazin has never been in there with someone as fast and slick as Cory Spinks, even with the jump in weight for Cory. He seems just as fast, if not faster.
Right. Oh, I got it.
Karmazin usually the busy puncher, but it's Cory Spinks whose punch output and volume is very high.
Interestingly, Jose Antonio Rivera, who we saw move up in weight and win the junior middleweight championship, another version of it, a possible opponent for the winner here tonight, fought much better at 154, as right now Cory Spinks is doing. But a nice right by Karmazin.
Yeah, he beat Alex Terra Garcia here on Showtime Championship Boxing a few months ago. Looked very impressive, did Rivera. And now Cory Spinks is looking to do the same thing. Of course, Rivera did it too in front of his hometown fans in Worcester, Mass.
Oh, I got it. That's going. Good job.
And of course, we're still early in this fight. Karmazin has a chance to do something with his power, but right now it's all Spinks.
And Spinks with a very good connect percentage as well. Right there, a left hand just before the bell, right to the face of Karmazin.
You got him a few times. Keep hitting him. Keep repeating what you're doing. Hit him once and keep going after him a second time. Tell the ref to let me work.
And then touch him again. All right? Basic boxing, baby. We've been doing this all day. Your sparring been tougher than this.
Cory Spinks, the slight underdog, has had his share of upsets, won the IBF welterweight crown in Michel Pizzario's backyard in Italy, as mentioned earlier. He wasn't expected to beat Ricardo Mayorga, and he was the underdog in his first fight with Zab Judah.
And he came into this fight a slight underdog against Roman Karmazin.
Right, I got it.
Now, you might say Karmazin had wins over two named lefties, Keith Holmes, former middleweight champion, and Kasim Uma, a fine junior middleweight. You might say, well, why is he having such trouble with this particular lefty? And as you pointed out, it's because this lefty comes with more hand and foot speed than those previous men, and he's not a man that just attacks you with abandon.
And in all honesty, Holmes sort of in the twilight of his career when Karmazin fought him. Karmazin got great joy in that victory over Kasim Uma because Uma was promoted by the Golden Boy, Oscar de la Hoya, a man who pulled out of a fight with Karmazin about 5 years ago, a month before the scheduled affair.
Now, for Roman Karmazin, the issue now is, number one, not to follow Cory Spinks around the ring. Number two, to get to the left so he can get outside that right foot and he can crank some left hooks up and put his right hand in a position where it can land. And mostly to be aggressive. He's got to push Cory Spinks in these rounds.
Karmazin is coming forward. Spinks fighting going backwards. Karmazin has that rare quality of fighting well going backwards, but he is coming forward right now. And a good strong body shot with the left hand by Spinks.
Well, he wanted to avoid this scenario where he was chasing Cory Spinks. He wanted to make Spinks come to him, but Spinks did engage him early in the fight, and he couldn't make the most out of it, dug himself a hole, and now out of desperation, he has to go after Spinks. And he's having a little bit better 6th round. I don't know if it's enough to win it, though, Steve.
Less than a minute remaining in round 6, and as you pointed out, it is a bigger ring, which is to Cory Spinks' advantage. And Spinks is using it. Was a rumor that it was 24 feet, but you went up and measured it yourself and it's more closer to 20, right?
A little over 20, but still it's slightly larger than we might expect. Now there's Karmazin. He landed the combination we've been waiting for. The straight right and then the left hook and punched on the break there.
After the break, Karmazin, and he hears it from the crowd.
Now he's starting to go with that right to the body, and it will be followed by a left hook. Why he started to throw that punch combination in the 6th round instead of the 1st, I don't know. And now he's throwing left hooks. Karmazin is starting to make some things happen in this round.
So we have hit the midway point.
Motherfucking lazy on the tie-ups. This motherfucker ain't gonna let you rest on the inside. So stop being lazy. Tie this motherfucker up. Okay. Listen to me, man.
This is just you to keep it from slugging. It's all right, baby. Nothing wrong with it.
Boxing beautiful, man.
Nothing wrong with it.
You
That's
just
all
gotta
you gotta
stay
do.
focused. You in tip-top shape. In the best shape of your life.
There was a subtle change in that round. Karmazin was able to push Cory Spinks back and land better to both the body and the head. Now, a right hand, and then he starts throwing the left hook. It's not that these were great punches, but they are setting up the things he needs to do, and that was the punch on the break that referee Mark Nelson warned him about. Subtle shift in that round. Let's see if it continues.
Between rounds, Karmazin's corner trying to get the attention of referee Mark Nelson. But he declined to go to talk to them. Nelson has warned Karmazin for hitting on the break and for low blows. And Karmazin, through our interpreter, Steve Bash, heard him say that the referee is not letting me do my job.
Well, I don't know why the referee's stopping him. He's not working on the inside. When he gets inside, Karmazin has a chance to work. Mark Nelson isn't coming in right away. He's not throwing any punches.
Round 7 scheduled for 12 for the IBF junior middleweight belt. Cory Spinks 34-3 with 11 knockouts. Roman Karmazin 34-1-1 with 1 no decision, 21 KOs. And the press row scoring, it is all Spinks.
I have it 1 additional point for Spinks, 59-55, but the last round was the key. If you scored it for Karmazin, you'd end up with that 58-56, and I was tempted to, but I didn't, so it could be that. Now in this round, Cory Spinks isn't throwing as many punches, but Karmazin has completely stopped throwing punches after a very aggressive 6th round. He is giving Cory Spinks a chance to get back.
He got one in there, Al. Nice right hand on the nose by Karmazin. Now Karmazin's starting to pick up the pace.
We just saw that combination from Karmazin where he throws the right to the body, then throws a left hook. And it worked. He should keep doing it.
Break! Don't punch.
There's what Karmazin does. Left hook to the body, right to the head, left back to the head. That's who Roman Karmazin is, and we haven't seen that personality yet in this fight.
And he has deceptively quick hands. So that was a good sequence for Karmazin. I detect Spinks slowing down just a tad here, Al.
It started in round 6 and it's continued in round 7. Karmazin has just barely taken advantage of it.
And Spinks' trainer Kevin Cunningham pointed it out in the corner. He said, "You're boxing beautifully, but you got to keep your focus." That was nearly a clash of heads.
Very close 7th round. And if Karmazin ends up losing this round, he will rue the day if this goes to a decision, because this was a round that was there for him to take.
Break! It's okay.
Final seconds of the 7th. And things are really starting to get interesting now.
Break! No, it's okay. Step back, sit back.
Good job. Take out the mouthpiece. Okay, put some cold. Clean his nose, clean his nose. Okay, we're a little bit behind. You got to find him. Patience, patience.
Roman Karmazin slips a punch and then he will go inside and do what he does best. You see that? A left to the body followed by a right hand to the head.
Second time.
Head's dangerous when you face a lefty. There, Spinks coming in and they clash heads. That Karmazin has been cut several times, including in the Uma fight, by left-handers with their heads coming forward.
Which often happens. You can see the effect under the eyes of Roman Karmazin, the redness. There's an abrasion under the right eye. A little bit of a cut beginning to open up there. There was a cut on the bridge of his nose in the Uma fight from a clash of heads. But you will often see that with an orthodox fighter against a lefty. And it has not stopped him in the past. He's never been down. He's been stunned, he said, but never hit the canvas, pro or amateur. Karmazin missing with a right hand.
The left hook has been so absent for Karmazin. He's been in position to throw that punch to both the body and the head on many occasions and just can't pull the trigger on it.
Spinks' his face completely clean. Body shot by Spinks. And then a right hand upstairs by Spinks. Spinks in and out. That's his game.
You know, somewhere in this fight, Cory Spinks landed with enough pop to make Roman Karmazin a little bit weary of rushing in, because even there, after he lands a punch, we saw Karmazin not come in, and that's important in this fight.
Well, he may have added some pop coming up in weight. There's a pop by Spinks. The left hand right on the chin.
Right, no, punch. It's okay.
And Spinks has no compunction to go in and be aggressive from close quarters against Karmazin. The quickness you can see there, Spinks, that jab.
Well, you know, I'm gonna take Roman Karmazin's side here. Mark Nelson is being very quick to tell them to break, but he could avoid that, Karmazin, if he would start working right away, and Nelson probably wouldn't say that.
You know,
see there, he can work. If he does it, Nelson won't break them.
Spinks' jab has just been so effective, as you have pointed out. It's keeping Karmazin off balance and setting up the power shots. There it is again. Even if it doesn't connect, it's effective.
Disrupts his attack. Disrupts Karmazin's attack.
Takes him out of his rhythm, his flow. Just keep it in his face.
Again, this 8th round, a closer one, but I suspect the activity of Cory Spinks is probably enough to win this round. He's been busier, more accurate.
And Karmazin frustrated. Karmazin cannot catch Spinks. Just too fast for him.
Got to touch him, man. And you see he reacting to all the feints. Give me them feints. Touch him, feint, and then fire. Right? Because he's reacting to every feint. Okay.
Okay, come on, you're too tense right now. Loosen up. Left hook, straight right. You're trying too hard. You're pressuring.
Let's go. Let's check it out, baby.
Last time here, a staggering 22,370, one of the largest indoor arena crowds all time for boxing. And that was a unique once-in-a-lifetime event. They've returned here to the Savas Center. A pretty impressive turnout. Folks here in St. Louis uncertain about Spinks coming in after the humiliating loss last February. They're waiting to see what happens here tonight.
Nice right hand by Roman Karmazin, but he hasn't landed that punch in a way that really stunned Cory Spinks or has allowed him to follow in behind that punch. Great corner work, by the way, I think, by Kevin Cunningham. The things he's reminding Cory Spinks of are just the ticket, and I think have helped him in this fight.
Right. Step back, Cory. I got you. I got it.
Nice right hand by Karmazin. The Karmazin corner telling him he's pressing too much, stressing out a little too much, and he's got to loosen up.
Well, you know, he just threw a really nice left hook to the body after a right hand. He's having himself a very nice round, and now he's backing Spinks against the corner, and I think he has made Spinks feel his power here in round 9. But to continue this, he has to be aggressive, Karmazin, and throw more punches. That's been a big issue in this fight for him.
Interesting in press row. They've got it really tightening up.
Get out of there.
Two of them have it a draw.
Time.
I've got it a 4-point difference for Cory Spinks, and I could see it being closer, certainly than that. I wouldn't say it's a draw.
Come on, rinse it out. Let's go. Hold on.
This is certainly a good round.
Come on, get it in here, baby. Ready?
Have to replace the mouthpiece.
Time in.
As we approach the final minute of the night.
Cory Spinks is slowing down. Let me tell you, he has slowed down discernibly. Can Karmazin take advantage
Well,
of it?
Karmazin said before the fight he would look to break Spinks down intelligently, systematically, and while Spinks, it appears as if he has been controlling most of the fight. You have to wonder what the effect of many of these punches are doing here late in the fight. Karmazin looking to take control late. And perhaps this is a game plan, and it may be coming to fruition.
Well, if he's slowing down, it's more because Cory Spinks is slowing down on his own. Karmazin's had some good moments, but hasn't done the really great body work we thought he would do early, and hasn't really broken him down like he planned. There's a good left hook by Karmazin.
Nice left hand by Spinks. Right on the jaw. Karmazin, though, missing.
Don't grab on him, Cory. Come on.
As Spinks is just too elusive. Again, Karmazin missing with the right cross.
Round 10. Give me another water bottle. This piece of shit ain't shit. The water won't even come out.
I don't use those squeeze ones. Don't they do that? All right. Just be calm. I gotta get it stopped. Just one side. Now open your mouth and breathe calmly through your mouth. Just breathe calmly.
All right, don't leave it in there strict. Just wipe his nose out with it.
I gotta get it stopped.
Yeah, no, just wipe his nose out with it. Put it in there and wipe his nose out. Roman Karmazin had a very good ninth round for the most part. The jab and the right, and then there's the hook. That's the kind of combination punching that Karmazin, we anticipated, would use in this fight. It's only been in spurts.
So we enter round 10, scheduled for 12 for the IBF Junior Middleweight Championship.
Come on, break! Come on, Cory. Don't grab on him.
Things really
Clean round here.
tightening up as Karmazin has closed the gap.
Now we're in a situation where for Roman Karmazin to believe he has a shot at this decision, and of course press row is very close. I've got a little three-point edge for Spinks. You would think he would have to really close the show here, even though he is the champion, certainly, but still two judges from the United States, one from Germany. I'm not suggesting everybody votes along jingoistic lines, but the fact of the matter is, I would think he would want to close strongly.
And remember what happened to his buddy, his stablemate, Dmitry Kirillov, the junior bantamweight contender, who thought he was robbed a few months ago. And that has to be weighing on Karmazin's mind.
Now, Karmazin is getting more done in these last couple of rounds, and Spinks falling just short with a lot of his punches.
Now, you made an interesting point earlier, the fact that Karmazin maybe hasn't been as busy as he normally is, but the fact that he is a strong man, 154-pound naturally, as opposed to Spinks, who's come up, but perhaps the quality of his punches has made a difference. Maybe, each punch has had more effect than usual on Spinks.
Very good point, Steve. It's a bigger man hitting you, and now he's going down to the body as Karmazin. So Cory Spinks is tired. Make no mistake about that. The question is, how much is Karmazin taking advantage of? Spinks' punches have less on them. He's got some issues with balance, which we just saw a moment ago.
Here's a good left hand, a stinger, a sizzling shot upstairs by Cory Spinks.
And I'm going to tell you something else. Here's where Karmazin does have a point. Cory Spinks is holding a lot on the inside. Every time they're in there, he holds immediately.
Shot there by Karmazin got through.
And Mark Nelson is breaking them right away. He's not giving them much chance to work. Nice right by Karmazin and a hook.
Karmazin.
These are good punches by Roman Karmazin.
Coming on.
Punch out.
His right hand is probably his best weapon, a straight right. Very effective against the southpaw down the middle, as we've mentioned. There's a good right hand by Karmazin. A wide, sweeping right hand that got in.
Punch out.
Again, holding by Spinks. He's in some trouble right now.
He is. Now this looks like the Spinks we saw 17 months ago.
Hey!
He is tired.
Is you fucking crazy? You got this fight won. All you gotta do is hold and run. Right. Hit and run. Keep the jab in his face. Don't you goddamn mind fighting stupid like that. How you feel, man? I'm good, man. Well, you ain't looking like you fucking good. Hold this man on the inside.
Well, Roman Karmazin punctuated a very good round. Now, that short right hand early on in the round set the tone for what was to happen later on. And later on, the power of Karmazin's punches started to be felt. Now, look, he started that combination with a left hook to the body and then through the right hand. And that wobbled Cory Spinks. And the right hands continued. Now, he found a home for that kind of overhand looping right hand. So things have changed here in St. Louis.
Spinks has a bloody mouth. His eyes were glazed after that right hand by Karmazin, and you saw the reaction of the corner by the fiery Kevin Cunningham, Spinks' trainer. Very, very upset. He just doesn't like the way that Spinks is fighting right here. He's standing in front of Karmazin. He's getting hit too much. And he's not getting in and out.
He's making a mental mistake. He's moving to his left. That's why those right hands are getting there. So as you get tired, you make mental mistakes.
He's playing right into Karmazin's hands, Al. The crowd trying to urge him on.
This is technically a different Roman Karmazin. He is throwing hooks to the body.
How about this?
He's getting right hands, and they have it very, very close. I have it 96-94 for Spinks.
And remember, that is unofficial. That's press row scoring.
There's no question Karmazin is in control of this fight right now.
And he is exuding confidence after looking kind of flustered and frustrated earlier on. Couldn't solve Spinks. Spinks drives Karmazin back with a straight left hand, but Karmazin continues to come forward anyway.
Spinks trying to get back into this round, and he's landed some really good shots.
Good right hand counter by Karmazin, who is just relentless. He won't back down. And looking confident, nails Spinks with a right hand on the jaw. Spinks continues to backpedal. Karmazin coming forward, fakes the right but pulls it back. Spinks with the left, but not full impact. A minute to go in the 11th. It's Karmazin on the prowl. Spinks missing. Karmazin in control, dictating the pace. A left hand that scored on the neck by Karmazin. A straight right, another straight right by Karmazin. Now a high punch volume for Karmazin. And a good connect percentage. Body shots now.
He's working the body more, Karmazin, something he should have done rounds ago, but he's closing in these rounds. There's no question he's winning these last couple of rounds.
Absolutely. Spinks is in trouble again. Karmazin stalking. Spinks running out of gas.
Give me some water. Have him sit down. Last round. Roma, listen. No more Mickey Mouse. Beat him up. Beat him down. That's it. Finish him. You connect. You connect. You keep hitting. You connect. You keep hitting. Don't wait.
Your hands down too far, so you can't be close. And when you get close, hold that motherfucker for dear life. You don't have to land another punch. You don't have to land another punch.
We said at the outset as they touch gloves, is this a make-or-break fight for Cory Spinks? Is his career on the line here?
Well, at 28, you would think not, but in boxing, you never know. But I think I'd say no, only because for the most part in this match, he has performed well, even though he has run out of steam a little bit toward the end of this fight. Remember, there were a lot of rounds early that Cory Spinks may have banked. By the way, Spinks is 5-1, and Karmazin is 3-1 in 12-round fights, so both have had success going the distance.
The 12th and final round for the title, as Spinks looks to restore pride and honor to himself and to the city of St. Louis after the humiliating defeat in February '05 in the second fight with Zab Judah.
Now, a lot of holding again by Spinks. Mark Nelson has never given him a warning, and I have to be honest, I think that's one place Roman Karmazin might have a gripe.
Karmazin continues to be the aggressor, coming forward.
Now, Spinks is still counterpunching and doing it moderately well, and Karmazin not able to land as well as he'd like. So this, you can look at every second of this 12th round and know it's all very important.
Right. It could come down to this. Karmazin swinging and missing. Missing again with the right.
Part of the reason Karmazin has missed so much is he has not stayed to the body. That would help him land those shots to the head.
But Spinks making Karmazin miss, not making him pay with counter shots, Al.
Yep, not much coming back from Spinks. So if a guy's this aggressive, even if he's missing a lot of shots, he's going to land some. And now Cory Spinks is in survival mode. Make no mistake about that.
With 1 minute remaining in the 12th round, a crucial round in the fight for Cory Spinks. Who knows how the judges have it? One judge from Missouri, one from New York, one from Germany. Time called.
Stay there. Cory.
A piece of equipment is out. Mouthpiece. It's not Cory's, it's Karmazin's. Mark Nelson first looking at Spinks, who said, no, it's not me.
Come on. You would think if a mouthpiece came out at this point, it would have been Spinks's.
Right. Out of fatigue. Karmazin goes right back to work with 40 seconds and counting.
It's not that Karmazin's been great in this round, but he's done most of the punching, so it'd be hard to give Spinks the round.
And the tide turned in the second half of the fight in favor of Karmazin. Low blow by Karmazin. But they play on. 20 seconds to go. A very, very nervous crowd exhorting Cory Spinks to finish big, but it's Karmazin with the action. Left hand.
Big left hook by Karmazin. And boy, if this was the old days and it was a 15-round fight, Cory Spinks would have some issues. It's a close one.
So what do you think?
It's a done deal.
Well, they obviously think they've got it in the Spinks corner, a much more subdued Karmazin corner, as they attend to the abrasions under the eyes. The Russian fans on hand await the decision, along with the St. Louis Eagles.
And new. And new.
I felt I was good for him good. There was a toughest man at 154, and I beat him.
That's right, you beat him down.
I beat him.
Ain't no question about who won this.
You
beat him down. You brought it back to the daddy. Ain't no question about who won this one.
Now, Cory Spinks making his case verbally, but in the last round or two, did he make it with his fists? Now, Karmazin lost his mouthpiece there. A little bit of a key in that round because it cost him a little bit of momentum, and he did ultimately, I think, have Cory Spinks in some trouble, but he was still able to sustain toward the end of that round. There'll be a left hook here that'll land. There's the hook, and Karmazin not able to land as many of those as he would like, but clearly winning the last round, as I think he did the 3 previous to it.
Very strong chance that this could wind up a draw.
That's exactly how I have it
Yep.
scored.
And if Spinks does eke it out, if he does win, whoops, let's wait. Sort of a half-hearted cheer from the crowd. They're not sure because it's not clear cut. It's not convincing for Spinks if he wins. So Roman Karmazin very pensive there in the corner as he obviously feels that he won the fight and doesn't want to have what happened to his stablemate Kirillov happen to him. We are set for the decision. Let's get it up to our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing, we have a majority decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Jerry Griffin scores the bout 114 to 114, even a draw. Judges at ringside, Melvina Lathan and Manfred Kuchler both score the bout 115 to 113 in favor of the winner and new IBF junior middleweight champion of the world, Cory, the next generation Spinks.
Get up, get your belt. Get up and get your belt. Come on. Yeah, see your people, baby. Get your belt. Go get your belt. That's yours. Look at that. Redemption. 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 Redemption.
Let's get it up to Jim Gray. Jim?
All right, thank you very much, Steve. Cory, congratulations. Can you begin to describe your emotion right now?
People didn't believe in me, man. But I always knew I could do it, man. This is the toughest guy in 154. I know this best, the best. This is my hardest fight of my career because he is so awkward and he's strong and he thinks when he's in there. So I take my hat off to him. He's a great champion.
What was going through your mind as that decision was being read, particularly when the first judge had it 114 apiece?
Well, I just kept my faith in God. And, I knew he was going to pull me through this. I prayed to him all the whole time through camp. Every night I went to sleep, I prayed to God Almighty, my mom, and my heart, I have.
I love you, my man.
This man right here believed in me. And I owed it all to Don, my trainer. Don.
Let's talk about Kevin, because Kevin told you after the 9th round, he said, you're getting lazy. Were you getting lazy? Were you getting careless?
No, not at all. I have a big heart, so if he thought that, he fell right into my plan.
Survival. No, Kevin was the one that said.
Oh well, that's my coach. He always gonna put that extra oomph in me, so that's why we stuck together through my whole career like this.
People doubted you after the layoff. They criticized the ring walk. There was a lot of stuff that was heaped on you internally. What did that do to you? Did that make you tougher, or did that make you angry?
Well, I told you. I painted this one for you. I told you in the dressing room, I painted this masterpiece just for you. I never doubted myself. I knew this is my natural talent. That's all I had to do was get sharp. So, and I had a tremendous camp. And
Did you ever come close to quitting after Zab Judah and then you had the domestic problems? Did you ever think about not fighting?
not at all. Like Aaliyah say, dust your shoulders off and pick it up again and try again. You know, it's no quit in my heart. You know what I'm saying?
Stay with us. Let's bring Roman in here. Roman, if you can come on in here with Steve Bash. Cory, stick with us as we get his assessment here. Roman, Steve Bash will interpret for you. Steve, ask him if he felt as though he won the fight.
Он спрашивает, если ты чувствовал, ты выиграл бой.
Не, на самом деле он меня обманул.
No, in reality, he tricked me. He was very tricky.
So you don't have any dispute with the decision?
Ты должен был выиграть бой.
С таким рефери я не выиграл бы бой.
With this type of referee, I couldn't have won that fight.
Did you seem to figure out Cory Spinks about the 7th or 8th round and start to get a rhythm?
Где-то 7-8 раунд, ты как-то его знал уже.
Да, к сожалению, я немножко поздно раскусил его где-то в 7-м раунде. Я понял, как с ним работать.
Unfortunately, it did take me until about the 7th round to figure out how to work with him.
Но он настолько стал бегать назад, что мне его не достать.
But he started, running so much that it just wasn't enough.
То есть он понимал, что он 7 раундов выиграл.
He understood that he was ahead after 7 rounds, and he went on his bike.
Ему надо было устоять на ногах, он это сделал.
He knew he had to stay on his feet till the 12th round.
It was a struggle for you to become a champion, and then you beat Kasim Uma, and now you lose it in your first defense. What will you do from here?
Тебе было так сложно дойти до Касим Ума и выиграть пояс, и теперь ты проиграл пояс, твою первую защиту. Что ты будешь делать после этого?
Я буду еще больше действительно работать, и я все равно, за мной Россия, трое моих детей, мне надо, я все равно стану опять чемпионом.
I'm going to keep working. I'm going to keep working harder. Behind me, I've got an entire country that supports me, plus 3 kids.
Rematch, yes or no?
Rematch.
Я одно просил рефери, чтобы он дал нам поработать вблизи. Он мне этого не сделал.
I asked the referee one sole question and one sole request before this fight. That was the only question that I asked for him, and it was the only request I made, and that was to allow us to work when we're in close, and the referee didn't allow me to do that.
So does he want a rematch?
Just rematch.
Если мне сделают, я с удовольствием.
If I'm offered a rematch, I would be more than happy, and I would be more than honored to have a rematch with Cory.
Thank you, Roman. Congratulations on a great fight.
Thank you.
Don, does he get a rematch?
We can talk about that, you know what I mean, because I think that Roman is a good fighter. I told the crowd from the very beginning it was going to be a super fight with Cory Spinks and Roman Karmazin, and that's what it proved to be. Spinks proved to be the victor tonight, you know what I mean, so there's a lot of options for Spinks. We're talking to Richard Schaefer about Oscar De La Hoya. We're talking about Jose Rivera. You know, there's a lot of guys that he can go out there. He's got a lot of options now, but the main thing is he came back to St. Louis and he demonstrated his loyalty. It's a Lou thing, and now the Lou have to come out and respond to him.